This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. I'm Seth Merrill, happy to be joined once again on Tuesday morning by Mike Jarbo. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Seth. How are you today?
Very good. Well, it looks like we have to keep our fingers crossed a little bit. We've been checking the weather forecasts. Looks like Finger Lakes will be okay. They were looking at about 10% precipitation for today. However, the forecast down at Parks, 100% precipitation. Beginning of the week has not been good for them down there. They did cancel yesterday, but they canceled about midway through the show. At that point, Anthony Romito had already done it. We haven't heard anything about Parks so far, so we will plow ahead. In a few moments, we'll look at Parks. A little later on, I will look at Finger Lakes, so stay tuned for all that. Do want to remind you about some of the promotions and fun events happening via Capital OTB and the Clubhouse Racebook down here. The next 3 Saturdays, this sounds like fun. Lucky Saturdays, December 14th, 21st, and 28th. All the patrons who come down to the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany, will receive an entry slip for random drawings. Drawings will be held at 1, 2, 3, and 4 p.m. 2 patrons will be selected at each drawing. If selected, a patron gets a chance to win the Cash Cube or the Big Wheel. If you get in the Cash Cube, sounds good. Cash Cube's 20 seconds to pull in as much funny money as possible, and then whatever the total amount is, they then receive a win, place, or show bet on the next race at Aqueduct. I want to come down just to watch.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
We'll see how much funny money somebody can grab in 20 seconds. The other patron will receive a spin on the big wheel. You can win different items, racing merchandise, or bet vouchers. So it sounds like a lot of fun. Again, it's the next 3 Saturdays, Lucky Saturdays, December 14th, 21st, 28th, right here, Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Also, the Bet 50 Get 50 promotion continues. If you don't have a Capital Bets account so far, if you aren't currently a Capital Bets account holder and you sign up for a new account, you're eligible for the Bet 50 Get 50 promotion, and that means if you bet $50 on your account during the month of December, Capital OTB adds another $50 to your account. So free money available out there. You can learn more about that on capitalotb.com. I do want to remind you, my co-host in here on Sunday mornings on Loose on the Lead, Steve Beck of Sirius XM's At the Races. He'll be here Sunday afternoon, this coming Sunday afternoon, December 15th. He will have a $500 bankroll, and 25 patrons will be randomly drawn at 1:30 to participate in that bankroll. Steve will kick the bankroll off, actually a little bit before that, starting at about 12:30 and continue to later in the afternoon, wagering that $500 bankroll. So again, this is this coming Sunday, December 15th, $500 bankroll with Steve Beck. 25 patrons will be randomly selected. You have to come on down here to the Clubhouse Racebook. Again, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Mike, before we get into the handicapping for this afternoon, I want to go back to last week. Instructive kind of situation. We were talking about it before we went on the air. One of the horses you had in your mix last week that you were going to take a shot against. And I have no argument with this at all. You had a morning line favorite that looked vulnerable, and you took a little bit of a shot against. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yes, I took a little bit of a shot against Fleet 16, who then gave me a big shock by winning by almost 20 lengths. But once again, if I handicapped that race tomorrow, I'd probably take a shot against the horse again. I knew she was going to be 1-5 or 2-5, and I just didn't think she was worth the price. But after the race, one funny thing is that I remember that Andy Sterling has this deal on his Naira show where he wears a dunce cap sometimes, or he makes a bad decision. So I went online and looked for a dunce cap, and I found one dunce cap for sale on Amazon for $14. And the funny thing about it was that it had one consumer review, and the consumer said it was horrible. They said it was the worst dunce cap they could possibly imagine. They could have done much better for $1 at some party store. And I'm trying to imagine who would buy a dunce cap and then complain about it.
So, yeah, critical of the dunce cap. It seems almost redundant. But again, going back, I have no argument with that. And the fact of the matter is, I've done it before too. You look, and those morning line favorites, you know going in, that they're the morning line favorite for a reason. The betting public makes them a favorite for a reason. But there are things there that are worth taking a shot against. And what you're looking for is, yeah, sometimes they'll beat you, and sometimes they'll beat you badly like that. But you're looking over time for that to balance out, and you'll be on the positive side of the ROI. Because if you can find those vulnerable favorites, that's what it's all about. That's where you find the value.
Well, Harvey Pack used to say on his Naira show, hardly a man is now alive who paid a mortgage at 1 to 5. And I think Harvey had some wisdom for us there.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. Tom Amello on the network used to have the 2x4 horses that the whole concept there was if you liked a horse and you let him get away and the horse pays 10 or 12 or 15 or $20, it's a 2x4 horse because you want to hit yourself on the head with a 2x4 at that point. And at 3 or 5, that's not gonna be a 2x4 horse. You're not gonna lament the fact that you missed a $3 and change horse.
Not at all.
Yeah, and as I say, when you take a shot against those, that's when you get the value. So over time, those are the kind that it catches up and it balances out. They'll beat you sometimes, but it's worth keeping in mind for folks maybe who are new to the game. Those are the kind that, if you see a kernel of vulnerability in there and you think it's worth taking a shot, don't shy away, because over time that'll be beneficial to you.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shift our attention to the handicapping portion of the program for this Tuesday morning. Again, I'm going to take a look at Finger Lakes a little later on. We're going to kick things off, however, with Parks. And again, you're going to have to keep your eyes on the weather for this afternoon to see how this shakes out, but we haven't heard anything at this point with regard to Parks. So Parks opener today is a maiden claiming event, claiming tags of $10,000. These are 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. They will travel 5 furlongs.
I'm going 5, 3, 6 in this race. Mission Doll is my top pick, and this is going to be a very tough horse to beat in this race. You might be getting 6 to 5, I think, if you're lucky. This one was 6 clear last out, finishing 3rd, but was 6 clear of the 4th place finisher. Set a whopping buyer of 36, which is about as good as it gets in this race. And off that wide trip, I think you're going to see her do a little better today. She's coming back off a long layoff, which has me a little bit concerned. But with the quality of this field, I think she's the best option you have in here. For second, I'm going with the number 3, Blonde on Blonde, who had a solid work 3 weeks ago and then came back off a layoff at Parks. And didn't do much, but I think she might show up today. She had a right to tire off the long layoff, and her trainer has good numbers in all departments, so I think you can get a good one out of that one. For third, we have the 6, Tyest, I believe that's said, who has some decent races in her past, gets a 7-pound bug. But, 0 for 14, it's hard to take a horse 0 for 14 on top. But last race, she ran okay, but then in the stretch, she decided she had enough and was looking for a place to lie down after a pretty decent middle move. But I think she might do better today. 5, 3, 6 in the first at Parks.
All right. You say you can't take the one that's 0 for 14. Don't forget, I had that 0 for 48 horse at Finger Lakes last week. Every once in a while, the wake-up call comes through. Second race at Parks this afternoon is a conditional claiming event. Claiming tags $5,000. It's a calendar condition. These are 3-year-olds and up, going 5.5.
4, 3, 1 in this race. I'm going with Star Distinction on top. Star Distinction is just out of jail and drops off the claim. Was claimed last out November 9th and has been waiting out the 30-day period, and it just so happens to have expired, I guess, today. Horse had this trainer has good numbers off the claim. It's going 29% out of 106 sample, and that's pretty darn good. The one thing I'm concerned about, the horse is 0 for 6 at the distance and is 0 for 3 at the track, but has run 3 pretty good races, but hasn't gotten across the wire first. But I think this one has a chance to speed pop the field here. For second, we're going with the 3, De Wild Affair, who gets a rider change, 3rd off the layoff. And 3rd off the layoff is often the best the best spot for a horse to be at the top of its form cycle. And last out, it got steadied on the far turn, and once it got stopped there in traffic, he never really got back in the hunt. He's 6 for 36 at this course, has 10 for 63 lifetime. So horse loves the game, and I think can step up a little bit here. In the third spot, we have the 1 Sports Day, who is by Tisnow, who's one of my favorite sires. Has 2 for 7 record at Parks, but it has a really good Mud Tomlinson at 419. It's 1 for 4 on the wet tracks, and so we're going with that one for third place. 4-3-1 in the second at Parks.
Race number 3 at Parks this afternoon is a maiden claiming event, claiming tags $13,000 to $15,000. These are 2-year-old fillies. Again, a quick 5.5.
2, 6, and 1 for me in this race. Starry Storm. This horse is no lady's secret by any means, but ran a pretty good one last out and has some good races on the page. Has 2 second-place finishes in a row, and last time was no match for the winner on trying to chase a fast pace, but still was 9.5 clear, about a half a mile clear of the third-place finisher. So, and also shows a bullet on that bullet work on November 19th, the best of 25. And even though she's had a start since then, I think she should show up in this one. And this could be the day. 0 for 6. This could be the day. In the second spot, we have 4-Star Princess, who ran an identical split in the first quarter as the top one in the last race. My main concern with this one is this one has really burned some money in the past. 2 starts back, 8-5 and 6-5, and I don't know, but at the same time, this horse also was well clear of the third-place finisher in the last start. So we'll take 4-Star Princess in the second spot, and in the third spot, we will go with Happy Talk. Happy Talk is coupled with a first-time starter in this race, who I don't really like, but this is a class dropper, and why not? 2, 6, and 1 in the third at Parks.
In the fourth race at Parks this afternoon, we are looking at a conditional claiming event. Claiming tags $14,000 to $16,000. Now, on winners of 2 lifetime in the condition, 3-year-olds and up, 3/4 mile a trip.
6, 2, and 1 for me in this race. Saba's Boy needs a clean getaway to show up in here. Had a trouble line in the last race. Had a bad getaway and then tired while trying to catch up to the field, and couldn't really gain any ground. The horse that he finished behind did come back to win, so I think this looks like the one in this race. For second place, we'll go with the 2, Cherokee Road. Cherokee Road seemed to have the light come on a little bit in the 16th start and this one really burned some money. Went off in the 2 before that at 6-5, but broke the maiden finally by 9 3/4. And at this level, a horse that comes off a race like that is dangerous. So Cherokee Road in the second spot. In the third spot, we're going to go with the 1, Heroic Indeed, which has run a little bit on the turf, and is probably going to get a wet track. And let's see if that turf form can translate to the wet track. Turns back in distance, showed speed, and then backed up last time out. So 6-2-1 in the fourth at Parks.
Fifth at Parks this afternoon is a maiden special weight event. These are fillies and mares 3, 4, and 5 years old. They'll go 6 furlongs.
1, 4, and 6 in this race. I'm taking Diamond Dazzle on top from the rail. This one takes a confident class rise after setting the pace and tiring his lone speed last. in the last race. Has a great mud Tomlinson at 4:21, and once again was 4 clear of the third place finisher. And the third place finisher is being faced. She's facing that one here, Biscotti Girl too. Gave it up last time while being eyeballed at the top of the lane, but I think you might see a little more. After having that educational debut, maybe she'll have a little more staying power today. For second, we have, it looks like Mademoiselle de Pompadour, who had a 3-week gap in layoffs, coming back after more than a year off. But you know, there isn't a whole lot in here, and had a bad start in her debut, and works are okay. So we'll take Mademoiselle Pompadour in the second spot. In the third spot, we'll go down to Biscotti Girl, who gets first-time Lasix, went off at 5-2, took a lot of money when finishing second to my choice in this race, and got beat by 11 in this one, but in that one, but I don't know, sort of made a middle move, and I think she can improve off that one. 1-4-6 in the fifth at Parks.
All right, that brings us to our first break of the hour. When we come back, we'll continue our look at Parks. A little later on, Finger Lakes on their closing day. Stay tuned.
The future of online betting is here, and only at the all-new CapitalOTBBet.com. CapitalOTBBet.com delivers a state-of-the-art wagering experience found nowhere else in horse racing. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I'm Seth Merrill. Join me weekdays at 10 for Racing Across America. We'll look at important races from around the country, get insight from top handicappers and analysts, and preview the upcoming week in racing. That's Racing Across America, weekdays at 10, right here on the OTB TV network. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill, joined by Mike Jarbo of the Times Union. Mike is taking a look at Parks for this afternoon. We'll continue with their race number 6. The sixth race today, starter allowance at the $16,000 level. These are 3-year-olds and up. They'll go a mile.
7, 6, 8 in this race, starting off with the 7 Turban, who today, if you saw the weather report, it's supposed to be a real mess at Parks. And if you look at this one, the breeding, broad brush on top and groovy underneath, and that's about as good as it gets when it comes to running on a wet track. Also, that groovy underneath would indicate a predilection towards speed. This horse is 3 for 9 lifetime, has 2 wins at this track already, and this wet track can only help this one. So I'm going to take 7 Turban on top and count on that track being a real mess there today. In the second spot, True Compass. True Compass showed pretty good speed last out too. Ran an 86 buyer, as 8 for 13 in the exacta, and has had 3 second-place finishes and 3 starts on wet tracks, and 3 wins at the distance. And that speed, I think, is going to be dangerous once that track gets to be a mess there down in Philadelphia. In the third spot, we have my favorite name of the day, Blame the Jockey, which I know I've never done that. This one has a wet track win at the same distance and was hung wide in last, and really didn't have a shot with that trip. And tries this distance again, and seems to be well posted. And so Blame the Jockey for third, 7, 6, 8 at Parks.
Seventh, excuse me, the seventh, I cannot shake this head cold. I've had it for a week and a half now. Still just barely lingering on. Seventh race at Parks this afternoon, and allowance non-winners are one other than. These are 3-year-olds and up. They'll go 6.5.
Well, here's a name I spent way too much time trying to figure out. I overthought this. I kept looking at it and thinking, this is some French or Latin name. And then I finally looked at it and the light went on. The horse's name is Do Miss Me. It's the 4, but it's all run together as one word. So I just couldn't make head nor tail of it. By the way, 4, 6, and 7 in this race. Do Miss Me goes back to open company today, second off layoff, and has showed a considerable amount of speed in the past. And once again, last off the layoff was pretty darn good. Got a 3/4 length victory after being away since September. And so that's my top pick, Do Miss Me. And they're not going to miss her on the lead because she's going to be out there winging, and I think she's going to be very hard to catch today. For second, we have Looking at Langford, which is a little easier to figure out name-wise, who last time out had an okay effort last time out on November 23rd, coming off an October layoff, and but just came up a little empty in the final when the chips were down, just didn't quite have it, and probably needed another race under his belt. And in that race, finished behind Turbin, who you'll have to see how Turbin runs today. That might give you a better judge of how this one's going to do. This one, 2 out of 7 on a wet track. Looks good to me. So it also gets 7 pounds from the choice. So we'll go with that one second. And for third, Show You Love, who got nose last out, well clear of a next out winner. Should be in the hunt at this distance, and also gets in light with 113 pounds. 4, 6, 7 in the 7th at Parks.
Race number 8 this afternoon at Parks is a state-bred allowance race. These are, again, Pennsylvania-bred 3-year-olds and up, 6.5 furlongs to trip.
2, 6, 1 for me in this. Patrick S. faced a lot better last out, and running in a restricted stake, and did a little bit of running, made pressed trying to get the lead, ran behind the front runners, and couldn't quite make up enough ground. But this one is 6 for 8 in the money at Parks, including three victories, and also is 1 for 2 at the distance. And I think the drop to back to allowance company is really going to help this one's chances today. For second, we have the 6 Major Highway. Major Highway beat non-winners of 3 optional claimers last out, going all the way on the lead. This one's never won on a wet track, but has finished second 3 times in the wet, and also has 7 out of 9 in the exacta at this distance. This one should be out there winging, and looks like a dead send from the outside in this 6-pack. Maybe a one-dimensional speed ball, but when you get a track like this, you never know how speed's going to do, and it probably will be doing well on that track today. 2, 6, and 1 in the 8th at Parks.
Race number 9 at Parks this afternoon, and the finale is a conditional claiming event. Claiming tag $7,500. The condition on winners of 3 lifetime. Fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, 6 furlongs.
Well, I'm going to take a shot with the closer in this one. My picks are 4, 11, and 3. The 4 is Garage Kept, who should have first run on the, I think, on the speed in this race. Gets a little more distance, improved in the last race, and draws inside the primary speed, which I think will give her a chance to get pretty decent position in this one. Rated in the last race and made a big late run, so I think we're going to get a good one out of Garage Kept today. In the second spot, we go all the way to the outside. Glorious Memories, who beat a next out winner last out at a higher claiming level. But the thing, I'm reluctant to put this one on top because that's a killer post at Philadelphia, the 11 hole. And I think might get hung way out, and we'll have trouble getting inside with the speed drawing inside her. And in the third spot, we'll take our Pink
Keeping us
Ribbon.
in suspense.
Well, yeah, suspense is what it's all about. Our Pink Ribbon I have in the third spot was third at 38-1 in the last versus the choice. And I think this one can have a sniff of the soup in here based on some of her prior efforts. 4-11-3.
And I am just pulling up, well, I was trying to pull up the Parks Twitter feed, and they're still showing, the last tweet is still showing cancellation on Monday, yesterday. So there's been no update that I see so far. So that's a good sign, I suppose.
Well, maybe they're real troopers there, and they'll go no matter what.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed because they did cancel yesterday at Parks. They're looking at some inclement weather again, so keep our eyes on that. However, after the break, we'll come back. We'll take a look at Finger Lakes for this afternoon. Weather forecast out there, not so bad. They were looking at about 10% precipitation. It is their final day, so certainly you think they're going to plow through regardless of what happens, unless it gets very bad. But it looks like it's going to be okay today at Finger Lakes. So we'll take a look at that card coming up right after this.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTV.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTV.com. Log on today. Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Casano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Wagering at CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Capital Bet TV, the fastest and easiest online wagering experience where you can monitor 5 different tracks simultaneously. 2. Capital Bet Express. Its straightforward program layout and interactive handicapping information lets you build your wager quickly and efficiently. And 3. Capital Bet Pro, designed especially for the professional horse player. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Handicappers Report. I'm Mike Jarbo of the Times Union.
How quickly things change.
How quickly things do change.
Yeah, during the break, I refreshed the Parks Twitter feed, and sure enough, 55 seconds ago, and now it's probably been a minute and a half or so, due to the impending snow, live racing has been canceled today, Tuesday, December 10th, at Parks, according to the Parks Twitter feed. And again, before the break, they were showing Monday's tweet that canceled racing, nothing new, but I refreshed, and it just, within the last couple of minutes, it's been updated that Parks is canceled for this afternoon.
What I want to know is, why did they have to cancel on the day I had
Had
nine
winners? Yeah,
I had
that's
9
it.
winners today.
It never fails. It never fails. Always works out that way. But we'll
Well.
see. I'm going to try to get my 9 at Finger Lakes. Actually, there's 10 at Finger Lakes, so I want all 10. I'm not stopping.
Loves
at
labor
9.
lost. Okay. Okay.
What was that? I'm getting. Okay. Okay. You realize Parks canceled. Finger Lakes is still going. I'm talking to guys in the control room. Okay. Because Finger Lakes is still going, so I can still handicap Finger Lakes. Shouldn't be a problem there. All right. Looks like we got the go.
Okay. So, okay, Finger Lakes. The first race is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners at 2 in a year, going a mile and a 16th, and a $4,500 claimer.
I have a 3, the 1A, and 5 in a short field of only 5. I put the number 3 on top, Spa City Lover. This horse is just getting some serious class relief, and I think it is one of those situations. Last racing day of the year up at Finger Lakes, so if they lose the horse, I don't think they mind. But this horse had been racing on the NYRA circuit a little earlier in the summertime, moved up and got that venue class relief with the move to Finger Lakes back in October. On the move to Finger Lakes, a couple of allowance races, bookend a claiming race. The claiming race was pretty good, and the claiming race was at the 12.5 level. Comes back today for 4,500. So again, some serious class relief. 7 to 5 on the morning line. Master the obvious here, but I think this horse, again, that level of a drop would be a little bit of a concern, but I said yesterday as well, we're here at the end of the season, so some of these connections may not worry about losing a horse. Somebody else can feed the horse over the winter time. So I think this horse is just shopping for a win at the end of the season. Spa City Lover on top. Second spot, I will go with the 1A, Martina Bride. This horse has been pretty live over the last 3 races. A couple of third-place finishes, bookend a second-place finish. So again, this horse over the last 3 starts has been racing fairly well, seems in good form. Martina Bride in the second spot, and then in the third spot, the number 5, Ms. Birdwatch. Third off the layoff, laid off from June until November, had a November start, early December start. Now winds up the season off a week layoff here. And again, third start back, I think this horse is going to maybe show a little bit of improvement over those last 2, and those last 2 were okay. So it's a short field, but it's kind of a fun, competitive group. I have a 3, the 1A, and 5.
All right, moving on to the second race at Finger Lakes. $4,500 beaten claimers going for a $9,000 purse. We have 3-year-olds and up, non-winners at 3, going a mile and 70.
1, 2, 6, and 7. The number 1 is Raffy's Choice. And this horse has just improved since the claim 3 starts back. Moved out of a 5% barn into a 20% barn. So the improvement is no surprise. But came out of a 5th place finish in the claimed race 3 races back. Won subsequently, and last time out moved up condition-wise, still at the 45 level, but moved into an open 45 last time and ran a good second-place finish. So I think Raffy's Choice, kind of interesting. 5 to 1 on the morning line. If that holds up, this horse could be fun in here today. So improved since the claim. Seems like a good fit with this group. Second spot, the number 2, Wabash River. Just in some pretty good form. The numbers fired. I'm looking at Equibase numbers here, actually, in the daily racing program as opposed to the daily racing form. Usually use the form, which has the buyers, but today I have picked up the program. And I think these are Equibase figures. But the figures seem to be pretty good over the past 5 starts or so. Last 3 starts, couple of seconds, bookending a win. So again, a horse that's in some pretty good form and is logical in and amongst this bunch today. Third spot, we'll go to the number 6, Stay a Little While. A couple of 4th place finishes, bookending a 3rd place finish for this one over the last 3. So, has some punch. Those were fields of 11, 10, and 8. Was up in the top half of the field. So there's a little bit of punch. It's just one of those situations where I think overall, looking at the complexion of the entirety of this field, seems to be a pretty good fit. Probably not as good on the front end, but certainly for picking up a piece, that becomes a possibility for Stay a Little While. Race number 2 at Finger Lakes, 1, 2, 6, and 7.
All right. Going to the third at Finger Lakes, we have a $7,500 claimer, Fillies and Mares, going 1 mile and 70 yards, non-winners for a lifetime.
6, 2, 5, and 4. The number 6 is Hellcat. Just another one of these that's getting some class relief in here today, and looks significant class relief, like the horse in the first race. Last time out was in some allowance company, didn't do so well. 3 starts back was in the New York Oaks, didn't do so well. In between those, 12,500, won pretty easily. It was a 12-5 conditional, but won pretty easily. Now it's in for a 7,500 tag. And like the horse in the first race, I think it's just late in the season. I don't think the red flags are flying as much as they might normally in situations like this. Again, they've been a little bit ambitious with this horse over the last 3 starts. When they got more conservative, that start 2 races back, the horse won pretty easily, and they're even more conservative today with extra class relief. So Hellcat looks absolutely logical. Second spot, we'll go with the number 2, Political Lady. This horse fits pretty well, but moves to a lower percentage barn. That's a concern for me. It was claimed out of a 4,500 conditional last time. I think on the numbers and on the talent and on the form over the last few is certainly a fit. Now, claimed for 4,500, bounces up to 7,500. But look at 2 and 3 starts back, was at the 7,500 level and ran well. So I don't think this is a significant class move to be concerned about. What concerns me, as I said at the top, was this horse moves into a lower percentage barn, moves out of the barn of Ferraro, who fires at close to 18% and moves into a 6.5% barn. So we hope that maybe some of that Ferraro magic has kept over, but this horse has been in this new barn for the better part of a month. So we'll see. Again, I think on the talent, Political Lady fits, but I'm concerned about the move off the claim. Third spot, Grace's Nene, the number 5 horse. Obviously, this horse is one you have to put in your mix, but stuck in a little bit of that bridesmaid scenario. This is a horse that on the Finger Lakes track has had 11 career starts, couple of wins, 6 second-place finishes, and 3 of those have been in the last 3 starts. 5 of those have been in the last 6 starts. Now, in there is also a win. So this is a horse that is in some pretty good form, but definitely, you look down the page, just doesn't seem to have the eye of the tiger when it comes to that last 16th of the mile to push on by. Seems to like that second-place position a little bit more. So I don't know whether I put Grace's Nene on top, but I certainly would have Grace's Nene in the mix. In the third at Finger Lakes, 6, 2, 5, and 4.
Moving along to the fourth at Finger Lakes, we have the ever-popular $4,500 claimers, which seems to be the going price at Finger Lakes.
And in here I have a 10, 2, 1, and 6. The number 10 is Blue Claret. Just another one of those horses getting a class drop. And again, as I said earlier, last day of the meet, so the class drop is not something that is a huge concern for me. And this class drop is just more, kind of a logical one. This horse, past couple of starts, 7,500. 2 starts back at the 7,500 level, beaten pretty badly last time out, a 3rd place finish. Still, the lengths beaten was not up there particularly close. So I think this is just an absolutely logical drop. And off the last race, I think this horse is in good enough form that this class drop will provide a little bit of a wake-up. So Blue Claret on top. Second spot, the number 2, Eddie's Dream. I think this horse is going to prove to be interesting on the stretch out. You look down the page, most of the races have been sprints. Now, that said, normally this I would find interesting, the trainer taking a little bit of a shot. But do note, this is the last day of the meet. So some of this may just be, it was the last spot we could get the horse into. This may be more of a confirmed sprinter. And as I say, they just couldn't find anything else. It's the meet's winding up. So the stretch out for me has a little bit of trepidation brought into it. Normally this is a move that I would find a little bit interesting, in the middle of the season. I still find it interesting today, but again, there's some concern because it is the last day of the meet. It may just be a situation where it's all that's available to them. And then the number 1 horse, City Babe, in the 3rd spot for me. I'm just wondering if this horse might try to speed pop them again. A lot of times you get a horse that shows those ones, is out there winging, and then gets caught late. The next time out, that speed will hold on a little longer for them. So City Babe could be interesting in here today. Leaving from the rail, if this one is sent out to the front again by Charlie Amaro, could be, as I say, interesting on a speed pop kind of an angle. Fourth at Finger Lakes, 10, 2, 1, and 6.
Moving on to the 5th, we have filly and mare maidens, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.70 miles for a $4,500 tag.
7-10, 8 and 6. The number 7 is Beautiful Mimi. Another one of those making a drop. This is a horse that is a long-time maiden. I said last week I had a horse that after 48 career starts, won in career start number 49. I have to look for a similar situation here. This one is a maiden over 29 career starts, but been up there in the money recently. It seems like this horse maybe is in some pretty good form right now and drops off the last couple of the 7,500 level down to the 4,500 level. Now this horse has been at the 4,500 level previously. Hasn't won, but it's run pretty well. It's shown some speed and gotten caught a couple of times and been up close in, in the finishing position. So again, just maybe the day that Beautiful Mimi breaks through, having raced against a little bit better over the last couple. A little bit of a wake-up call perhaps today. We'll see. Number 10, First Deanie, First Dine. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to be interested to see how Tony Kalo pronounces this one. But the number 10, 12-1 on the morning line. I think this horse seems eligible versus this particular bunch. This is not a particularly strong field, obviously. Many of these long-time maidens. And I think this one, as I say, looking at the numbers and just the talent, I have a feeling this one at 12-1 could be just a little bit interesting. It's just not the kind of race I would go into with a lot of gusto, but at 12-1, this is one that, if you are playing in this race, could be fun to throw in the mix. And then in the third spot, the number 8, April in Jersey. Good try when dropped last time. This horse had been racing at the 7,500 level. Last time out, they moved this horse down to this 4,500 level and ran a good second place. So again, got the wake up with the class relief last time, has found the comfort zone at the $4,500 level. Back at that $4,500 level today, should run well also. So in the 5th, I have it 7, 10, 8, and 6.
That brings us to a break. We'll be back with more of Handicappers Report on Capital OTB Network right after this.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're loose on the lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., loose on the lead, Capital OTB.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of ranch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB Television Network.
Welcome back to Handicappers Report. I'm Mike Jarbo of the Times-Union. I'm here with Seth Merrill of Equidaily. Now, in case you're just joining us, Parks has canceled its live racing for today, and they were kind enough to do so right after we completed going over the card for you.
That's 2 days in a row for that.
2 days in a row.
Timing is everything in life.
But we're going to move on to the 6th race at Finger Lakes. We have 3-year-olds and up going 1.70 miles. Non-winners of a race in a year going for $4,500 claiming tag.
I have it 6-4, 1 and 3. I will note that I find the 2 to be a horse that's very dangerous, and oftentimes when I mention these dangerous horses, they get up and wipe me out. 2 was one of these that I looked to put in the mix. I just couldn't. You know, it was one of those where the other 4 just attracted me a little bit more, but I will mention, if you like the 2, I wouldn't argue with you a bit. But for me, 6-4, 1 and 3, the number 6 on top, stage debut. This is another one of those making a class drop today, and doing so off of some decent numbers recently. Has been racing for 7,500. Again, the numbers are pretty good. I think the drop to 4,500 is going to prove to be a wake-up call for stage debut. Second spot. And I will say, I went back and forth with these top 2 as I handicapped, and I eventually just tilted slightly in favor of stage debut. But David is mad, 8-5 on the morning line. I certainly think this one is going to be very, very interesting today, returning to the stretch out. Last time out went for 6 furlongs, but the starts 2 and 3 back were at 1.40 and were very good. Were improved over that sprint race last time. And again, I think the stretch out back to 1.70 today is going to prove very beneficial for David is mad. So as I say, my top 2, the 6 and the 4, I could really go either way with them. Third spot, the number 1, Snap Call. Showed some oomph at Aqueduct earlier this year. Hasn't shown that form lately. I just have a feeling, this horse, 4th start back off a long layoff, might be ready to rebound a little bit. I don't say that with a whole lot of confidence, though, because as I say, the 3 starts since the return have not been much to write home about, and 2 of them have been at this 45 level. So there's not a whole lot to hang your hat on, other than hoping that maybe this horse has built up a little fitness over these 3 and might rebound. But again, there's a little bit of back class to kind of have some confidence in. We'll see what Snap Call can do today. But as I say, I can kind of go either way on that one. 6th race, 6-4, 1 and 3.
Okay, in the 7th of Finger Lakes, we're back to the gals. Filly and mares, claimers going for a tag of 8,500 to 7,500. 3-year-olds and up going a flat mile.
1, 2, 4, and 3. Actually, the 1 entry. I like both halves of the entry. The plain 1, Wise Awake. The 1A, Unbridled Toga. I think these are the kind of horses, if you look, certainly Wise Awake last time out refused to leave the gate, so there's a concern there. Last time out, Unbridled Toga, 3rd place finish, and was beaten over 4 lengths. So, you know, there's some concern, certainly. But if you look down at the past performances, there are also races that show both of these horses are capable on their best effort. You got 2 shots in here. I'll put it this way. Both are capable on their best effort. They're both vulnerable. So I wouldn't jump on these if you're playing, you know, pick 3s or whatever, pick 4. This is the beginning of the late pick 4. If you're playing that, I'd probably go a little deeper than the 7-5 on the morning line. This entry will take some action, but I don't think they're a lock by any means. But again, there's just enough there that I had to tilt slightly in their favor to put on top. Second spot, the number 2, Twillerby. Drops off the claim and moves to a high percentage trainer, a higher percentage trainer. Claimed last time out for 10,000, comes back today for 8,500. Moves out of the barn of a 5% trainer into the barn of Chris Engelhardt at 28%. I think there's some things to like there. Now, the drop may concern you, but again, I think this all works into that whole scenario of the last day of the meet. It's My Purple Haze Stables. These are a group up there at Finger Lakes, plays the claiming game very well. Chris Engelhardt, again, a high percentage trainer. They claimed this horse early in September, so there's been a long layoff. I just have a feeling it's let's go out and get a win to end the season. If somebody dips in and claims the horse, okay, that just adds to the money we get to cash on this particular afternoon. So I think Twillerby going to be dangerous in here. Number 4, GA Empress in the 3rd spot. Got a little bit of a good-bad pattern going here over the last 4 races. 4 back 1, then a 4th, then 1, then a 5th. That means it's time for a win again today, perhaps. I don't subscribe to that normally, and so I'm not a big fan of that angle on this particular horse either. I'm more looking at those wins as being some pretty good efforts that number-wise and whatnot put this horse right up here in the mix and like my top pick. So like my top picks becomes capable on a best effort in here. So we'll see with GA Empress. Again, looking at those 2 wins, I think this horse is a decent fit with this field if we get one of those efforts. 7th at Finger Lakes this afternoon, the 1 entry, 2, 4, and 3.
In the 8th at Finger Lakes, we have a $22,000 allowance race. Nominants of 2 lifetime. 3-year-olds and up, going a mile and 16th.
One entry, 2, 8, and 4. And again, like a race a couple ago, I have a horse that just didn't make my mix. That if you threw it in the mix, I wouldn't argue. The number 7 Right Now is one that I looked to maybe put in, just couldn't. So I've got some notes next to it. You know, if there are scratches later in the card, this is one I would move in, the number 7 Right Now. But I have it 1 entry, 2, 8, and 4. The 1 entry Volatile Markets, the 1A M6. I think both halves look like some pretty good fits here. It's just one of those situations where I'm looking at the complexion of the entire field, and I think both of these are certainly eligible to be competitors in here. 6 to 5 on the morning line. So again, a master of the obvious in here. But, well, like the earlier race where I had the entry, you know, the plain one coming off a second place finish and a fourth, the 1A coming off a third and a fourth and a third and a fourth. So again, I think these horses are good fits, logical, tilted in their direction. They aren't invincible, however. Number 2, Go Giant Brygo. I think this horse is better than the latest effort. This is one of those where the last looks like a little bit of an aberration, broke slowly that day. I think the starts just before that are more likely what we'll see today. And if we do get one of those, Go Giant Brygo will certainly be up in the hunt. And then the number 8, Eltish Charm, got the wake-up call last time, perhaps. You go 4 starts back a 5th, 3 starts back a 7th, and a 4th, last time a 2nd. Just has the look to me of maybe, as I say, last time the latest good turn to the form cycle was making the move. So if that's the case, that the last race was a little bit of a signal, Eltish Charmer could do well again today. So in the 8th, I have it 1 entry, 2, 8, and 4.
Moving on to the 9th at Finger Lakes, we have a $21,600 allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, going a mile and 16th, non-winners of 3 other than yada, 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 a whole bunch of conditions after that.
I have it 3, 6, 2, and 5, the number 3. Frisky Warrior, just keep your eyes on this one because this is the 2013 Finger Lakes Horse of the Year. Last day of the meet, could be fun to see the Finger Lakes Horse of the Year for 2013 add another victory. So far in this 2013 season, this horse has had 10 starts. 5 of those are wins, including the last couple of starts. Certainly likes the Finger Lakes Strip, having won 9 times in 13 starts upstate. Frisky Warrior 9 to 5 on the morning line. Looks like the one to beat in here. And I will note last year's horse of the meet, Clean Gene, the 2012 Finger Lakes Horse of the Meet, won up there yesterday. So maybe that's an omen for Frisky Warrior today. Number 6, Big Shot in the News in the 2nd spot. Just a horse that's in some pretty good form right now. A couple of 2nd places and a 3rd place finish over the last 3 starts. Should be up in the hunt again today. And then the number 2, No Mine, horse that likes the track. 20 starts over the Finger Lakes surface. 14 of those have been exacta finishes, including a win last time in an open 12-5 claimer. Again, fun feature race, and I think it's going to be very competitive. But the 2013 Finger Lakes Horse of the Year, Frisky Warrior on top for me, as I have it 3, 6, 2, and 5.
Moving on to the finale, the 10th race at Finger Lakes, a mile and a 16th, $4,500 claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 since the warm days of June.
6, 4, 2, and 3, and the number 6 is Awesome Mitch. Ran well when teamed with this jockey last time, so this is just a little bit of an angle where the jockey got on board. It seemed like these two made a very nice team. This horse got a little bit of a wake-up call with this jock last time out, so we'll look for this pair to do well again today. Number 4, Take a Walk in the 2nd spot. Just think this horse fits on the numbers, should be logical in and amongst this particular bunch. And then the number 2, Search Engine in the 3rd spot. Going to look for this horse to show some speed again. Stretched out last time, showed some early speed, faded late. But again, a lot of times once they do that, the next race out, that speed can hold on even a little bit longer. So I think Search Engine could be interesting. If by the first turn, if this one's out there winging, again, that could be the good angle for Search Engine today. 10th and finale at Finger Lakes for today and for the 2013 season. 6, 4, 2, and 3. And that'll wrap things up for the Handicappers Report for Tuesday morning. We took a look at Parks and Finger Lakes. Unfortunately, Parks is canceled for this afternoon. But Finger Lakes looks like still a go as far as we know, and coming up on Racing Across America I'll have a regular Tuesday visit, our last visit for a while, from Tony Kalo at Finger Lakes. So we'll get an update from him. Also on Racing Across America, Gary Johnson from Beulah Park. We'll talk a little bit about what they're doing out there for this afternoon. And the bottom of the hour on Racing Across America, Michael Chamberlain from Turf Paradise. So we're talking some racing at 3 of the different Tuesday venues, and they're part of what you'll see on the network this afternoon. We're going to kick things off with Finger Lakes, then Monticello, Beulah, Sunland, Turf Paradise, Western Fair, Dover, Northfield Park, and we'll wind up later on this evening with Yonkers. All of that on the network. Don't forget, if you didn't get a chance to get our selections, well, you can cut Mike's half of the page out and use it, I guess, for some scrap paper. Again, Parks is canceled, but certainly the Finger Lakes picks are available. CapitalOTB.com. Click on that Handicappers Report link, and you get a nice printable page. And don't forget, CapitalOTB.com, the new state-of-the-art wagering site. If you haven't tried it yet, get over there and try it. And team that up, if you don't have a Capital Bets wagering account, team that up with the Bet 50, Get 50 idea. You go over to CapitalOTBBet.com and make some bets after you sign up for your new wagering account. Once you bet 50, they put 50 in the account. So it all works out well. All right, don't forget the $500 bankroll with Steve Bick is this coming Sunday. 25 lucky patrons will be chosen at random if you come down here on that Sunday afternoon to the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany, and you can participate in the $500 bankroll with Steve Bick again next Sunday, December 15th. That's going to wrap things up. Mike, thanks for joining me on this Tuesday morning. I know it seemed like a futile effort, but it's good handicapping practice, I guess.
Well, that's how you have to look at it, as practice at this point. But you know, I'll be dreaming about all those winners, though.
As I say, the same thing happened yesterday. It's perfect timing. All right, that'll wrap things up for the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill and Mike Charbo, thanks for joining us. Coming up next, Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.